So in the personal finance space, generational wealth is a buzzword, right? So in today's video, I'm going to go through a step-by-step framework on what you can do to start to build generational wealth from nothing. So if that sounds good to you, please go ahead, like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. My name is Adrian. This is Always Talk Money, where we talk about personal finance, investing, generational wealth, and anything else that can help you to level up financially. So let's get into the video. The first and most important step when you want to build generational wealth, it starts with education. You have to educate yourself. You have to educate yourself on budgeting, investing, other strategies to build wealth like high earning incomes, real estate, crypto, even though I'm not a big crypto person. But in the future, it's going to be a big player when it comes to building wealth, right? So you have to educate yourself. How do you educate yourself? Well, watching this video is a start. Watching other videos like this is a start. On YouTube, there's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to personal finance and just the education space altogether. But you have to be careful with scams, with grifters, with people who are snake oil salesmen trying to get you to buy something that's not to your benefit. Also, there's books, there's podcasts. You can ask people that are older and more successful than you. You can interview business people. You can go to wealthy neighborhoods and knock on doors and things of that nature. Especially if you're younger, older people want to pass on that knowledge to you. You just have to know to ask the right question. Podcasts are a great resource as well. So anything that you can get your hand on in terms of improving your financial knowledge, in terms of teaching you the skills, the blueprint, and anything else that you might need, where your blind spots are, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. But education is the first step you need to take when you want to build generational wealth. A lot of people simply aren't wealthy, not because they're not talented, not because they're not smart, not because they don't have a good background, a good family. It's really just because they didn't ask the right questions and they don't have the right education when it comes to generational wealth. So you really want to do that. The next step you want to do is to increase your income. Find ways to increase your income, because it's called generational wealth, not generational poverty. So with wealth, it means you have to have some level of income, but not only some level of income, you have to have some level of high income. So think about high income skills like engineering or medicine or science, right? Things that are always going to be in demand, jobs that are very well, highly compensated. That's marketing. That's certain types of education. Unfortunately, teachers aren't paid as much, but if you teach certain specific things, you can build wealth, generational wealth, through doing that as well. Also, there's side hustles, there's starting a business, anything that you can do to always increase your income, anything that you can do to ensure that you always have money coming in. Regardless of the circumstances, having money coming into your bank account is never a bad thing. Now, after you start making money, after you have your side hustles, you get your education in terms of personal finance, you have to save and invest, right? If you want to invest in ETF EBOOK, in the stock market and things of that nature, check the link in the description down below. I have that ebook. It's a great resource and I think will greatly help you. But you have to save and invest. And saving and investing involves stocks, real estate, ETFs, crypto, whatever you can invest in, a business, invest in yourself. That's where the education part of it comes into. Saving means creating a budget, living below your means, and things of that nature. Don't spend more than you earn. I always say, and people who consult with me and things of that nature, try to live off of 50% of income. So that could include if you are in a partnership, in a marriage, you live off of one person's income, then you use the other person's income to save, invest, and maybe pay for discretionary things. But saving and investing is going to be so very important. And that includes having sinking funds, like an emergency fund for when things happen, a sinking fund for if you need a new car, a sinking fund for if you want to go on vacation. All these things are necessary. And what you will find is when you're trying to save and invest, you may not have enough money to go around to hit all your savings goal. And this is why I said it's very important to try to find ways to increase your income at all times. This is generational wealth. So it's going to take a big shovel for you to take care of your family for generations and generations to come. Guys, if this video is bringing you value so far, please go ahead, leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, as well as subscribe, become part of the family. We make new videos like this every single week. Now, I mentioned it in the saving and investing portion, but that's living below your means. And I want to reiterate that point. It's so very important. So many people, especially in America, they're making six-figure incomes, but they cannot save, they cannot invest. Why? Because of lifestyle inflation. You don't ever want to increase your lifestyle to the level that your money is at, because all you're doing is not saving, not investing, not having any money to do other things and put it into multiple streams, multiple pockets of income, saving, investing, and so on and so forth. So ignore social media, ignore lifestyle creep. Don't buy that big house if it's going to be at the top of your budget. Don't move into that expensive neighborhood if it's going to be at the top of your budget. Don't buy that car if it's going to be at the top of your budget. Stay out of debt, and so on and so forth. Please, 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 please live below your means. And part of living below your means, as I just said, is to eliminate debt. Guys, you cannot build generational wealth if you are saddled with debt, if you are saddled with bad debt. And that's consumer debt, that's credit cards, car notes, personal loans, things of that nature. These are liabilities. And to build generational wealth, you need to be acquiring assets. So you have to get out of debt. There's different ways to get out of debt. You can use the debt snowball method. You can use the debt avalanche method. Whichever way you choose. I also have a debt elimination ebook, e-guide. That's in the link in the description down below. But getting out of debt is one of the bedrocks of building generational wealth. You don't want to build generational poverty, you want to build generational wealth. And unfortunately, especially when you talk about student loans, people carry these debts for years and years and decades and decades and decades. And what happens is when you're at your end of your life, when you have not enough energy to work the way you used to work when you're younger, and you're still saddled with these debts, and you don't have enough in retirement, and Social Security is not going to pay you out enough, it's going to make your older age very, very miserable. It's going to make you very anxious about your finances. And I don't want that for any of you guys. So right now, once you're starting young, you need to be aggressive about eliminating debt. You have to be aggressive about, again, creating multiple sources of income. And that's the next point I want to make. Generational wealth means that you have to have money in different places. You have to have money coming in from different places, and that will make you more safe when it comes to your personal finances. Because if you have one source of income and that gets cut off, guess what? You are in trouble, right? And we have recessions, we have inflation, we have all types of things, rate hikes by the Fed, all sorts of things that can affect your sources of income. So whether that's real estate, whether that's side hustles, whether that's stocks, whether that's crypto, whether that's having a business, all sources of income are very important. Some may not bring in as much as the others. Two of them might be the big heavy hitters that bring in most of your income. That's fine. Just as long as you're constantly bringing in multiple sources of income, that's the way to go. And that's even if you have side hustles, a side business, and you want to keep your day job in a 9 to 5. That's perfectly fine. Okay. I see a lot of people, they say, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur, and they go all in on one thing, which is a great thing. But eventually you have to find ways to diversify, especially if your entrepreneurial venture is starting to be successful. Take some of that money out of that business and spread it around to create additional sources of income, because you never know what's going to happen. Nothing is really, really and truly safe. We've all seen it in our lifetimes. We've seen very mega big companies that you never think could go out of business. For example, like Blockbuster, right? We never thought if you're of a certain age that Blockbuster could go out of business, but it did. So you want to create multiple sources of income, which insulates you from having trouble financially. The next thing you want to do is call generational wealth. So you have to have some sort of estate planning, and this is best done with someone who is a professional. I would never purport to be an estate planning expert, right? Say that 5 times fast. Let me know if you can in the comments down below. But get someone, especially when you reach a certain level of wealth, to start your estate planning. Let your family know where the documents are, like the wills, like the deeds, like the stock portfolio, like bank statements, things of that nature. So having a family meeting in that way will be extremely important, because you never know what's going to happen to you. We all want to live a long and healthy life, and that's what I want for every single one of you out there, but we all will transition into the afterlife, right? So we have to be prepared, and that means getting all your documents in order, getting your estate planning in order, but most importantly, tell your wife, tell your kids, tell your close family that you want to pass this generational wealth down to, where the documents are, who to contact in case of emergency, and so on and so forth. This is very, very important. And after you get all the ducks in a row in terms of the finances, the documents, the deeds, and you tell your family, the next thing you want to do, and this is going to be the last thing, and it's going to be to teach financial literacy. So all the things that you have had to do in your generational wealth starting journey, in your personal finance journey, you're going to teach that to the younger generation. And you're going to teach that young, because when you started out from ground zero, right? You started from nothing and you had to build up, learn, improve your knowledge, and now you are successful. But what you want to do is you don't want your family to start from nothing. That's why it's called generational wealth. You want them to start 5 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead, 20 steps ahead, 100 steps ahead. So when your kids are young, you teach your wife, you teach your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your kids, anyone that's willing to listen and that's willing to buy into the program of generational wealth for your family and your family name. Let them know, teach them financial literacy, pass the knowledge along. If you guys are going to be into the real estate family, you have to teach all the properties, everything you know about real estate. If you're going to be a family that controls companies, gas stations, grocery stores, anything of that nature, it's always good to teach family the inner workings of the business and what to look for and how to think and grow the business, how to navigate difficult periods. And you never know, when kids are younger, they're imaginative, so they might see something in the business that can help you to get into the next generation, right? So you want to have that open dialogue and teach financial literacy to your family to expand that generational wealth. And then hopefully after you are gone, after you are transitioned, there's always going to be somebody in the family that's teaching it down the line, generation to generation to generation to generation. My name is Adrian. Please go ahead, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We make new videos like this every single week. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, but this is my time and I will see you in the next one. Peace.